fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
Greetings all of you beautiful people. We are Anon DK. While we have been exposing all of the elite's agendas and plans to you, delaying many large events in the process, thanks to you all sharing the info we put out. Without you we would not be making videos, we would not be exposing the elite, and we would not be alive today. The elite do not like attention. If we simply stood up to them we would see how these old men and their families, which altogether equal around 8,000 people, that is it, and all the rest of us have to do is stand up to them and they will fall. They, like most bullies, only have the power those around them allow them to have. We must stop this. We must stand up. We must take our freedom back. They have no real or lasting power. We have noticed one thing. It keeps holding us back from freedom. If you listening do not reprogram your minds, you will forever be deceived. You will forever be enslaved. So we will try to free you. When we wake up those around us we must be aware of the total shock their minds will be under. Finding out every single thing you know and were ever told, thought, and believed, is a lie, and having to figure out where to go from there. We must be prepared and equip those waking up with knowledge in order to kill the fear. Waking up is terrifying. Like being thrown out of bed into a storm. The information is so loud it is deafening. Your eyes cannot see to focus. Your heart breaking and beating so fast you cannot tell if you are happy or angry. You are thrown out of the world you knew and into one you cannot understand yet. But this is only the beginning, and beyond lies truth. So let us talk about you today. Only through knowledge can we change. Only when we understand how something works incorrectly can we correct it. So let us look deeper at your brain, the mechanism in us that the elite are using against you every day. It is important you understand your brain and how it works, because of the indoctrination you have been born into like your parents before. There is much work to do. When we are born our brains are traumatized and attacked through many various things by the elite. The human brain is extremely fragile. It can break very easily and for everyone it is different. Which is why the mass mind control is so damaging. There is no way to know how much one person's mind can handle compared to another's. For example, everyone has a TV. Everyone has internet access. They give you movies and music, radios to play the same censored songs over and over, surrounding you with frequencies. All of these things are nice, but do you think they do studies on these products before they give them to everyone in the world to use on a daily basis? No. They view you as a mindless consumer. Nothing more. We are made up of frequency. Everything has a frequency. Love has a frequency. One of the strongest. It is fast and short, which is why we must constantly feed it to keep it alive. Fear, anger, negative frequency, is damaging. It is slow and long-lasting. When we are attacked with negative frequencies it changes our brain chemistry. It lasts a long time. Hard to get rid of. Name-calling, hearing an argument. Even these mild things which sadly many experience every day, have a devastating effect on our minds and bodies. Because we are being assaulted by frequencies, still we hold cell phones to our heads. We stare into a screen all day long. We watch movies with violence, drama, frequencies and emotions which alter our minds. We argue, fight, and do not fully repair. This is the mind of the elite, angry, and never at peace, never at rest. They care nothing for you. That is why your food is fake, your air is poisoned, and your water is drugged. We call our way of life normal. We know now, after generations of indoctrination, how to be socially acceptable. Every one of you listening knows exactly what bubble, what box you are expected to fit into. When you go to the store, when you go to see friends, when you gather with family, no matter what the occasion, you automatically form yourself into the box you are expected to be in for the occasion. This is mind control. This is from repeated trauma to your brain, ever since you were born. This is only a small example. It must be thought on, and applies to every aspect of how you act and think. Your brain is damaged. You have to understand how. As we grow up with this trauma happening over and over without end, whether it is living with divorced parents, being bullied at school, having abusive friends or family, or simply having parents who did not care for your mind, so they allowed you to be influenced by frequencies constantly, TV, games, whatever the case may be. We all grow up surrounded by negative frequencies, instead of growing up as children should, playing with children, getting into fights, making up for them, growing and figuring things out, learning how to use our minds, climbing trees, fishing, kissing the girl next door. These small life experiences are what develop our minds, help us use it. Logic, common sense, what is good and bad, not just for myself but for the people I love. Freedom, but instead, children are not children. They must be restricted. They must be controlled by constant commercials, constant rules and orders in school and at home, only to grow up to constantly work until we want to retire, only to find we still cannot afford it. The repetitive cycle of the slave's life. Keep your head down and work until you die. So for generations we continue believing the lie and living in the mind control, content to be brain-damaged slaves, content to brain-damage our children for the next generation. It has gone on for so long people blow it off saying, well, that is how my mother did it, or that is how it was when I was growing up, instead of realizing the error of it all, and correcting the problem. We must stop this abuse of ourselves and of all of those around us. We continue in the abuse system until we ourselves believe we do not deserve it. So long as we continue to believe humans are insignificant, powerless, meaningless, so long will the elite rule. What they rarely tell you about brain damage is, you can usually fix it. You do not need anyone else, because this is your mind. You have control over it. If you decide to take it back, let us talk about your mind and the damage the elite have done to you. Your brain has developed capabilities suited for the world you were raised in. So think now, how were you raised? What was your childhood like? What was the structure like? What was your routine and rules? What were the punishments? What were the rewards and how often? If your childhood, your world, was characterized by threat of any kind, chaos, unpredictability, fear and trauma, your brain will reflect that by altering the development of the neural systems involved in the stress and fear response. As the brain develops what is used and needed during growth, instead of being able to filter and say, this is not so serious as that. Everything that hits you is serious and stressful, because fear has taken over and left you with emotions that are far too hypersensitive and overactive to function normally. That is why people today are so violent, idiotic, and angry. Why people cannot hold intelligent conversations or open their minds. Everyone is brain damaged. The part that makes brain damaged people more severe is when they do not know or understand the damage they have. Everyone has so much damage. They all think they are normal. They do not know there is anything wrong. That there is another way. That they should be happy and free. That it is possible. And that is normal. Humans have a frequency that is higher and fast. Love. Peace. Happiness. That is the normal we are meant to live in. When you are a child, your mind is extremely sensitive. It does not have to be verbal or physical to be a threat. It is usually body language that children see first, and they base opinions from birth on that. Negative frequencies. Chaos does not have to be severe but simply consistent. Never knowing what will happen next. What is going on in your life. No routine or rhythm. Fear comes from the unknown. Children ask questions. Their minds are young and absorb everything much quicker than adults. They are hungry. They need food. Information. Not to be held back in systems. Children deserve information. You deserve to get information when you were a child. You deserved all of your questions to be answered. Because they can be. You deserve to be given attention to all of your needs. You did not deserve to be robbed of intelligence. Of your mind. When trauma happens, there is increased alertness, and when a shock is induced again, the brain detaches. During this time is when the programmer can imprint onto the mind, while the person has detached from reality because of shock and terror. When children watch TV, as one example, the constant frequency and light pulses which intentionally are programmed to traumatize the brain repeatedly, produce brain shock, trauma, damage, detachment from reality. The programmers are the elite. The subliminal messages, which are mental torture. They program into movies and shows for TV, are then imprinted on your small and very fragile child brain before it is developed, before you can protect yourself, keeping you from being able to develop further in the area that trauma happened. Subliminal messages scar your brain because of the trauma, the shock. It is torture. You watch the screen. Torture your mind. And that part of your mind is forever stunted in growth, scarred, damaged, and parents allow this to happen to their children from birth. Let us explain this. When trauma is introduced during what is called the growth stage of brain function, this is infancy through adolescence, childhood, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal or HPA axis is hurt. And if trauma persists, it becomes wore out, causing it to give up working. HP8 is the key area involved in memory, cognition and stimulation. Due to trauma, it stops growing and maturing. Now you understand why most adults today are children. Minds have not developed. It only gets worse with each generation. Let us look deeper at how this brain damage happens. The prefrontal cortex, which is still developing in children, is slow to activate. Children are supposed to be protected and taken care of by their parents. So this was not an issue 200 years ago when real mentally efficient families existed. Today parents are children brain damaged like their parents. Children raising children. Blind leading the blind. The prefrontal cortex does not react quick enough, nor is it developed enough to know how to be able to evaluate trauma and give the correct response answer. Basically, the child traumatized does not know how to be untraumatized or what trauma is. Total blinding shock. That is all. Permanent brain damage. In child trauma, the limbic system is activated since it is a fast reactive area. By reacting so quickly, the important but undeveloped and slow cortex is pushed aside, which only furthers the damage to developmental progress. Only calm stimulation allows activation of the prefrontal cortex needed for learning and problem solving. That is why common sense and logic are dead today. Problem solving and learning abilities do not exist fully in your brain. You react. Emotional, stressful, fear, anger, brain damage, panic, mind control, keeping you from being human. Our limbic system initiates the fight, flight or freeze responses to threat. The amygdala and the hippocampus are part of the limbic system. The amygdala is what takes info from the prefrontal cortex and responds with the correct hormone. If it is good, then it gives the relaxed response, and if bad, the stress response. When repetitive trauma occurs, this section naturally becomes immune to the response of stress hormones and automatically sends stress to all info received. There is no filter, no distinction between good and bad, no difference in the mind or responses. Many parts of the brain are extremely slow to mature, and sometimes never fully do once trauma and programming has been done. Trauma to the brain at a young age leaves an inability to maximize personal gain, computation, deception and lying. You cannot see the elite, because you cannot see danger. You cannot see deception. That is where innocence is lost. Not only do the elite rob you of physical innocence of bodily experiences, but more damaging, irreversible, unhealable, and unforgettable is the robbing of mental development, neurological murder. Child trauma steals the ability to develop completely. You have not been allowed to develop completely. You have been abused. The elite have stolen everything from you. They robbed you of life and humanity when you were a child. Such depths of sadness. This directly affects how you decide what to do when faced with conflicting rules, handle complex social situations, see the intentions of other people, stand up for yourself, protect yourself and others. Dopamine receptors are blocked, which is also why most people today are on one form of drug or another. Everyone is an addict, because everyone is brain damaged, self-medicating. As damaged children grow, the elite's control of the medical and pharmaceutical fields is ever useful at creating new disorders and diseases and vaccines and pills, pumping you full of psychology and drugs, which only further cements the thought that this is all normal. Tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. They keep repeating, this is normal life. This is all there is. That is a lie. The most basic form of mind control is repetition. It has stolen humanity. You do not even understand the strength, love and inheritance you have, until you treat fellow humans as equal, brothers and sisters, with love and respect, as is due our station in this world, and stop the abuse. People will continue on. This will continue to grow. Every human being, regardless of age, deserves guidance, protection, respect and love. We are equal, regardless of age, color, creed. Most people in their brain-damaged minds think equal means they are better than others. Getting better treatment. Equal means equal. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It is simple. Love everyone just how you love yourself. There is no reason not to, since we are not animals, but of a higher species, with a much higher purpose. Many go through life without seeing the control and power structures in place in every area of their life. Our minds have been programmed from birth. Until we are able to see this and unravel every lie we have been told, everything we think we know, the brainwashing will continue. But the first step to breaking the programming, to freeing your mind, is by realizing that you deserve so much more than your life is right now, or ever has been before. You believe you do not deserve what you wish for. You believe you are not good enough to be free, happy, at peace. You believe you are insignificant. This is what holds you back from having the life you are supposed to. Mind control allows the elite to keep you enslaved in the belief you do not deserve more, that you are nothing special, nothing unique, that you do not deserve truth, that you do not deserve a mind. You have been abused. You have been tortured. Your mind has been damaged. You must realize and know this fully. You must accept this, and you can fix it. You are not a victim. Not anymore. Now that you know what has happened to you, you must accept it, and you must correct it. We do not abide victims here. Victims are cowards. Victims are weak. Victims are useless. Self-involved and obsessed. You are not that. No one is ever given more than they can handle. The test is how we handle it. You are strong. You are free. You are stronger than anyone told you you could be. You are unique. No one else is like you are. From your ears to your fingerprints to the dreams you have at night. You are the only one like you. The only one with the talent you have, whatever that may be. You deserve a perfect and full and happy and peaceful life. You deserve to know what you are capable of. You deserve freedom. You matter. Your life matters. Your mind matters. Your thoughts and your love matter. People wonder why we do this. It is always depressing when people ask. We would think it was obvious. We love the way people are human. We love that you think, how you dream, how you sleep, how you help each other in times of need. We love how you play, how you laugh. We love how you argue. We love how you heal, how you pick yourself up and keep going. We love how you breathe. We love your habits and hearts. We love that humanity can overcome every obstacle. We love how when you and I finally decide to work together, we change the world. In total, we love your soul. We love your mind. We love the potential. We love what you cannot see. We love you. It has always been about you. It will always be about you. We see you drowning in darkness and fear. We have watched your suffering. We have watched your torture and abuse. We know. We feel it all. As you do. We do this to save you from drowning alone in your darkness. You are the reason we exist. You are the reason we get out of bed. You are the reason we work as we do. You are the reason we gave up our homes and our countries. Because the love we have for you. You are worth it. You are worth fighting for. We have stripped ourselves of our fear. For you. So you can know it can be done. Your life is worth us dying for it. Hands down. We rejoice in our suffering for you. For we love you. No question about it. So why do we do what we do? It has always been about you. You who believe you are the undeserving. Who cannot see what we see. Who do not understand how much we love you. How we cry for you. How we laugh with you. How we long to hold you. Oh, how very much we love you. You who believe you could never make a difference. Believing you are so small. So tiny. When we sit here looking at you knowing how much you are capable of. How powerful you are. Waiting for you to see it. But you believe that your life does not mean anything. When it does. Your life is the reason we live. You are the reason we exist. To show you what you are. To give you back your rightful place. As caretaker of this earth. With the responsibility to love, honor, respect, and cherish all living things. Love the people in it. Your fellow humans. Your brothers. You are the one we have been waiting for. To change this world. To delete the elite. To free the world of this suffering. Of all of this hate. You are the one we have been trying to reach. To help you see. You are the one who will change the world. With love. Wisdom. Truth. We always say that Rambo will never come to save you. This is because Rambo is in the mirror. Until you realize your value. Your unequaled worth. You must realize that you are the hero. You seek. And take up the charge. There is no need for Rambo when you are more than he could ever be. How does one measure the worth of a life? By tears. By blood. Life is immeasurable. The value of your life cannot be written or said. No measurement exists. Your life is everything. Start it.